Hi everyone, I'm Clint Davis. This is for this week's informative speech assignment for oral communication. I have a PowerPoint presentation to go through for this. First off, before we begin, I'm going to introduce my son, who is my audience this time. This is my son, Ken. He actually has a copy of the PowerPoint in his hand that he will go through with me. And now we will begin. I will also be reading through the PowerPoint from my station here. So if it seems like I'm distracted at times, I'm not. I'm just reading through the PowerPoint. When I was a kid, my dad told me about strange lights that he saw as a young man down in Monte Vista, where he was born and raised. He said it didn't last but maybe a minute or so, but those lights stayed with him the rest of his life. They danced around in the sky, and he never figured out what they were. And as soon as they appeared, they disappeared. There are thousands of cases like my dad's that are reported in the United States and even more worldwide every year of UFO sightings. It's something that's always fascinated me, and it's stuck with me. One of the most famous ones is the Roswell case. For those that aren't familiar with it, the Roswell case was the supposed crash landing of a UFO near Roswell, New Mexico in July of 1947. So, without further delay, we will go through the slides. The myth is that an alien spaceship was monitoring the atomic and rocket test sites in New Mexico. On around July 2nd, 1947, one of them flew low over Roswell and then was struck by lightning. The strike blew off some pieces, which landed on a ranch northwest of Roswell. The damaged craft flew on for over 100 miles and finally crashed on the plains of San Agustin west of Socorro. A flying saucer malfunctioned and exploded over a ranch northwest of Roswell, scattering the wreckage. Afterwards, the government seized the wreckage and the supposed alien bodies, immediately initiating a cover-up in the process. This is the myth. This was retrieved from www.physics.smu.edu. Next, to follow up on the crash, the wreckage and the bodies were shipped at that point to Wright-Patterson Airfield near Dayton, Ohio. Advancements in technology were supposedly made in the decades which followed by reverse engineering the wreckage. Reliable eyewitnesses such as Lieutenant Colonel Philip J. Corso claimed to have seen both the wreckage and the bodies. Lieutenant Colonel Corso was on President Eisenhower's National Security Council and also served in Army intelligence. The first press release, which was released in Roswell at the time per Wikipedia, stated that the many rumors regarding the flying disc became a reality yesterday when the intelligence office of the 509th Bomb Group of the 8th Air Force, Roswell Army Airfield, was fortunate enough to gain possession of a disc through the cooperation of one of the local ranchers and the Sheriff's Office of Chavez County. The flying object landed on a ranch near Roswell sometime last week. Not having phone facilities, the rancher stored the disc until such a time as he was able to contact the Sheriff's Office, who in turn notified Major Jesse A. Marcel of the 509th Bomb Group. The intelligence portion. The action that they initiated was to immediately take possession of the disc, and it was picked up at the rancher's home. It was inspected at the Roswell Army Airfield and subsequently loaned by Major Marcel to higher headquarters. The second press release, which was released in Roswell at the time, also taken from Wikipedia, says that Colonel William H. Blanchard, commanding officer of the 509th, contacted General Roger M. Ramey of the 8th Air Force in Fort Worth, Texas, and Ramey ordered the object to be flown to Fort Worth Army Airfield. At the base, Warrant Officer Irving Newton confirmed Ramey's preliminary opinion, identifying the object as being a weather balloon and its kite, which was a nickname for a radar reflector used to track the balloons from the ground. Another news release was issued, this time from the Fort Worth base, describing the object as being a weather balloon. The first one to really grab hold of the phenomenon around Roswell was a physicist by the name of Stanton Friedman. The information I had to present here was pulled from Wikipedia again. states that in 1978, nuclear physicist and author Stanton T. Friedman interviewed Jesse Marcel, the only person known to have accompanied the Roswell debris from where it was recovered to Fort Worth, where reporters saw material which was claimed to be part of the recovered object. The accounts given by Friedman and others in the following years elevated Roswell from a forgotten incident to perhaps the most famous UFO case of all time. The first Roswell book, again, information taken from Wikipedia, was the first conspiracy book about Roswell, and it was called The Roswell Incident, and it was published in 1980 by Charles Berlitz and William Moore, authors who had previously written popular books on the Philadelphia experiment and on the Bermuda Triangle. Historian Kathy Olmsted writes that the material in this book has come to be known as version 1 of the Roswell myth. Berlitz and Moore's narrative holds that an alien craft was flying over the New Mexico desert observing U.S. nuclear weapons activity, but crashed after being hit by lightning, killing the aliens on board. A government cover-up duly followed. The facts that we know are that over 100 eyewitnesses have been interviewed since 1947. While some were considered reliable, many were not. The myth has also been debunked by many skeptics many times. The United States Air Force official statement on the incident is still that it was a classified weather balloon. And new evidence continues to surface from time to time. This was just a general overview of the incident. There are actually a ton of facts on the internet if anyone's interested. Again, it's become its own cult phenomenon at this point. My references that I pulled for this one were www.physics.smu.edu and Wikipedia. Wikipedia was pulled simply because this was just a general broad overview. So that concludes this presentation. And if anyone is interested or has any other questions, please let me know. Thank you for watching.